A very good afternoon to all of our wonderful viewers joining us today from all around the world. We are absolutely delighted to have you here with us for this broadcast, and we truly hope that you are having a fantastic day so far as you tune in to see what we have in store for you this afternoon.
On the DP Labs channel, I'm Hero. Today's about our snow clearer, the MUDSTER for electric ATV with a homemade plow. Mother Earth, White Birch Grove. For me, it's Holy Russet. For others, it's a thorny place.
In the very beginning, the project was originally intended to be nothing more than a simple drag sled. Our primary goal back then was to assemble it very quickly, aiming to put the entire thing together in just one single evening. Nowadays, she is frequently seen giving quite generously and spending a lot of her time shopping, standing right there at the security barrier accompanied by her loyal guards, carefully. But we didn't like it. It's impossible to clear open areas, it just shakes around, only works for paths. And we dragged it behind the ATV, but we didn't like it. It's impossible to clear open areas, it just shakes around, only works for paths, and that's only under certain conditions. We rebuilt it at the front, like buckets are usually made. It became much better, meaning it was now possible to effectively clean and clear flat surfaces.
We rebuilt the front in standard style. It's much better and clears flat surfaces now. I'll drop my backpack, Mutki, Lerva, Bastakati. The stone forest takes me in. A pleasant twinge hits my chest, but he won't. I defy conventional measures, removing nerves to the beat. I know this city by heart, it sleeps without lights. My eternal repeat drives me, let's sing out loud without offense. Drink in the thrill of love with strong knots and long roads. We flee problems where no one finds us. I dreamed of holding you, spinning these thoughts, but there was still...
This seems to be a bit of a problem. The slope was very steep, it wedged itself under the snow, buried itself, pressed down on the ATV, and basically stopped. We thought about this problem. It was created as on the terrain, the bucket was very sharp, it wedged itself under the snow, buried itself, pressed down on the ATV, and basically stopped it. We thought this problem was actually related to the ATV, that it was compressing the suspension, so we put it on a small tractor which doesn't have any suspension.
Rounding the bucket's tip, fix the dragging so it finally glides smoothly. Don't forget, this isn't a game, it's not just talk. I've been led by a gentle long road. Guess where do such cities lead? I'm just chanting a mantra about unfulfilled dreams. You really can write me off and you just can't predict me. Be like free birds, remember this is no game. I've walked for miles, where do these cities lead? I'm a man obsessed with unfulfilled dreams. You can't write me off or predict me. Let thoughts fly like birds. A restless mind foresees a revolution, and I wake only to hold you. We'll heal and shed this worldly skin. My thoughts are with you. We're different, but our hearts beat in sync. This is love, fate, and a dream. It's quite suitable for a quad bike.
It certainly has more than enough power for the job, but of course ours is fully electric, so it has really great torque. However, this setup would also work well for a standard gas-powered quad bike. It might even work better than the traditional single-sided buckets you usually see, because basically this is how we clear the path. First, we make one track right down the middle, and then with one side we throw the snow off to one side, and with the other side we throw it to the other side. It requires less traction and power. That's why it's also possible to use this on a regular quad bike. We throw snow to one side with one side and to the other with the other side, which requires less traction and power. So on a regular and consistent basis, this approach works quite well.
Riding a quad bike is also possible. But of course, it is much better to use a lower gear so you don't burn out the system. Another significant problem with the quad bike is that it's actually quite light by itself. Here it's 400 kilograms plus the weight of the rider, so about 500 in total. But even that amount is often not enough to ensure reliable traction with the ground surface. That's exactly why, when there are two riders on board, it feels noticeably better and more stable. We don't have any cargo racks installed, so we simply can't add any extra weight except by carrying an additional person. But if you happen to have a regular standard model,
loading the rack helps. Just to provide a small additional note for all of you watching this right now, we are actually filming this particular segment on the very next day. As you can probably see and hear for yourselves today, there's a very strong and persistent southern wind blowing across the entire area, so the overall conditions are quite a bit different than what we were dealing with during our previous session.
this V-plow easily powers through half a meter of snow at 30 km/h, breaking drifts like a tractor with two riders. We'll film it now and show you. Here are the advantages of electric, the advantages of the V-shaped plow. We drove through here. Here are the advantages of this V-shaped plow. It just powers through untouched snow. There's more untouched snow ahead. We'll show you from underneath now. It's just incredible. Here are the advantages of electric, the advantages of the V-shaped plow. Take note of this. Compare it.
Compared with a standard blade. I personally haven't had one myself, but if you already know the various advantages and disadvantages of a regular blade, then maybe this design makes sense to you. We will provide all the detailed drawings for you under the video. Winter isn't over just yet, and it is certainly not the last one we will see. It is made quite quickly. You can easily assemble it from sheet metal in one evening. No bending machines are needed, you can even get by with just an angle grinder. We have a laser, so it's easier for us. You don't need bending machines at all. In principle, you can just use an angle grinder. We have a laser, so it's easier for us, but you can also do it with an angle grinder. Angle grinder, welding, that's all you need. In a day, you can make such a bucket blade. Now let's go over the pros and cons, and I'll show you up close. As for the pros and cons of the design, well, regarding the quality of cleaning, you can judge for yourself. It's not bad. As for the pro, it is certainly possible to consider that a blade angled specifically to one side might work better. I honestly cannot say for sure at this point, as we have only ever used them on tractors, and I haven't personally tested this setup on an ATV yet. A specific drawback of our current design is that, due to the unique features of the ATV, I had to mount it right in the center, directly under the belly, and this results in an extremely restricted range of vertical lift. That is to say, the bucket's arms are already hitting the control arms. This is actually quite a simple issue to resolve. You can either choose to use bent pipes, or, as is usually done on most ATVs, mount the blade further forward between the front wheels. Then this problem goes away. The next issue that we ran into once again is something specific to our particular setup. Our winch is mounted quite low, and as you can see, the cable actually runs almost completely parallel to the support. Winches are very hard to operate. We snapped the cable several times, but most likely you won't have this issue. It is quite likely that you won't encounter this problem yourself, because traditionally these types of winches are mounted much higher up. In general, we'll provide the bucket blueprints, but I don't think the mounting makes sense, since our ATV has a rather unusual design, so this specific mounting option won't work for others. All this extra superstructure is for tractor mounting, it's not actually necessary for this setup. The pipe at the back was quite thin, measuring exactly 30 millimeters by 30 millimeters. The structure actually bent slightly, but simply because these were originally intended to be simple drags. We didn't plan to put any significant force on it. If you're building this structure yourself, it's much better to use a 40 by 40 pipe and add extra supports from the central part forward. That will effectively solve the structural problem. The black support pipes are made of high-grade aluminum, 40 by 40, with a wall thickness of 2 millimeters. This was done deliberately so that in case of an impact, right at the very ends of these pipes, we have successfully installed Zhiguli silent blocks. And that is pretty much the whole structure. It's very simple to make, but it's highly useful. We'll add some behind the scenes footage showing how we built it and how we cleaned it. But overall, the result, this simple design uses Zhiguli silent blocks to protect the ATV from impact, saving us several days of manual labor. As for wet snow, for example, we haven't tested it yet, but it is likely going to be more difficult to clear, that's quite obvious. In any case, fresh snow like this is removed absolutely perfectly. The rest still needs to be tested. If you want to try it yourself, please feel free to go right ahead, improve it, share your own versions, and show us exactly how you use it. It'll be nice for both you and us. Maybe we'll refine it even further and pass those improvements on to others. Subtitled by Dmitry.